everybody to know, I can knock out people!
Roman Dolidze!
That'll do it! With 2 minutes to go, Chase Hooper becomes the first to stop Felipe Colares.
Regardless of who is standing across from me, I'm going to prepare to the fullest, and, I show that off tonight.
Chase the Dream Hooper!
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier.
I'm made for a fucking podcast. That's dangerous! Listen to me, we're at it!
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. I'm unshaven and looking rugged, so I fit in on this podcast visually.
I look good.
I know, but I was still saying that I was rugged. That was going to segue into you being very, very well built.
Well, I mean, I'm well groomed.
Yeah, sure.
If you were here, you could take your finger and go squeeze.
And I would. Foot.
No. And we have a jam. Oh man, look at my bicep.
Do the other one.
We have a jam-packed show today, Jimmy.
Yeah, we do. We get Roman Dolidze will be on. This might be his first appearance. I don't remember. Criss Angel, of course, definitely Chris's first appearance. And Chase Hooper makes a return to the show.
Ooh, I like you.
Am I wrong about Roman's first appearance? I never know. My memory stinks. So he's fighting Phil Hawes. That is a great fight. That Kyle Dawkins fight, which I believe he ended with a heavy knee to the face.
Yeah, he did the old knee to the face.
Yeah, he is a dangerous guy. So I think he's 10-1. Let me look back at it. Yep, 10-1. He is. I'm looking forward to this fight a lot because Phil Hawes is also a fucking murderer.
You know, me too. And you know, Criss Angel. Criss Angel's from East Meadow. He's from my hometown.
Oh, that's right. You know, I've interviewed him before years ago. I didn't remember he was a Long Island guy.
And I met him on an episode of Dana White Looking for a Fight, and we did it. We went to the show, you know. But it's one of those episodes with the tooth on. So, ooh, Jimmy, do you know some magic?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I wish you would make Chip Chibison disappear.
No, you know what I do? I show up and I make the moisture from all vaginas disappear.
Oh, I believe that, Jimmy. I believe that right away.
So let's go to Roman. Roman Dolidze is in the waiting room. Maybe we should bring him in, Matt. We got a busy show today.
Let's do it, Jimmy. Let's do it.
Hey, Roman.
Talk about well-groomed. You look like you're ready to front kick somebody down a well. You look, I'll tell you. You ever see 300, Jimmy? Come on, look at him. You look like Leonidas. You look good, Roman.
Yeah, I'm always good, and I'm always ready.
Always ready. That last fight, Dawkins was heavily favored in that fight, and wow, what a beautiful. You heard him, and then as he was getting up against the fence, it looked like he was resting and recovering. And what a tremendous knee you dropped. Did you knock him out with the knee, or was it the ground and pound after?
I think it's question what you need to ask to him, but I think that knee was bad. Yes, broke his bone, and he wasn't able to fight. I don't know, it was knockout or he just was like hurt bad.
Oh, he was hurt.
Yeah,
he was hurt bad. Now, you're doing great. I mean, you only have one loss in the UFC, and it's by decision. Phil Hawes. Sorry?
I don't agree with that loss.
You're not happy with the decision, okay?
Listen, just because you see an L on the record doesn't mean, there's a big difference between, oh man, that guy took a beating, to being like, I don't know, I don't think so. So Roman's walking around like he feels undefeated, don't you, Roman?
That's for sure. Nothing can change my mind.
Now you fought. Oh, sorry, Matt.
No, I was just going to say, Phil Hawes, he had a great win over Duran Win in his last fight, and he looks just powerful. When you got the call, when you got Phil Hawes, and you got paired up with him, what's our thoughts on that?
It was like I was in Georgia back home, and Mick texted me and said that this is open what I'm offering you. Immediately my answer was yes. That's all what I didn't thought nothing. I know this guy. I saw him fight. He's a very good fighter. I never said it like I don't like to talk bad about my opponents, and I always respect them like sportsmen, like fighters. But I don't care. I'm here to fight anybody. Yes, he's a strong guy, but I'm not. I'm strong too.
Now you fought your first two UFC fights were heavyweight, correct?
No, light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight. What made you go down? Were you just you wanted to fight smaller guys, or was the weight cut just very easy for you?
First of all, I wasn't cutting weight at all. Like I was like in pounds, probably 210, 211, 212 maximum. Like, and I just was a little bit dieting, and that's all what I was doing. And Giga Chikadze, he was every day telling me, you need to go to middleweight. You need to go to middleweight. And one day I just wake up and decide, okay, I'm going to middleweight. That's all.
Now, being a Georgian fighter, let me tell you, you guys, one guy is nicer than the next. Merab is one of, do you know who Merab?
Of course I know.
Everybody.
All protests or UFC, we are very close with each other.
I mean, I love Merab, and Gige seems like a great guy. You Georgian fighters are tough as nails, but you're very sweet. You're very nice. I don't know what my question is. My question is, I want to visit Georgia is what I want. I don't know. I think that Jimmy, the people are the nicest people.
But dangerous fighters, very dangerous guys.
But so nice.
It's a great idea to come to Georgia. We'll be very happy to see you there.
Merab keeps telling me, I told Merab I want to bring my family there. And I see when Merab goes home, when he goes to Georgia, I see videos of him he's on a horse and he's got like an outfit and it's wild, man, you know?
But be ready to gain a little bit weight.
Say again?
To be ready to gain a little bit more weight.
Oh, I'm always ready to be a foodie. What was it like growing up in Georgia now? What age did you start in the martial arts?
Martial arts, like I started karate when I was young, but it wasn't like my parents always wanted me to be like in sports, but for them more important was education, and sport was like to keep me busy because they don't want me to be outside in streets, and they want try to keep me busy. But something like at 10, I started playing soccer. I was goalkeeper, professional, in the last 3 years. And grappling, I started only 22, and MMA 28.
You got a lot in common. You got a lot in common with Jimmy. He's also used to getting a lot of balls thrown at his face.
Yes, I was also an athlete. I played.
To be a soccer player, it's harder to be a goalkeeper than a fighter, if you want to, because you have a lot of pressure from team because you are goalkeeper, and if you have if it's goal, everyone pushes on you because it's your fault. You eat the ball. No.
Is that a lot of tension when there's a penalty kick, and that you know that they're just lining up to kick, and it's just you know it's coming. So if you that's got to suck when they score that, just because it's only you and him, and there's no one else doing anything.
A penalty is not a big deal, because penalty is like 50-50 always. But if you make mistake during game, that's a big problem. Because after you, it's like a goal, nothing more.
Now, when you were a kid, did you want to be an athlete professionally, or what did you want to do when you were a kid? Like, what did your dad do?
My parents, our mother is a doctor, family doctor, father is engineer. And like I told you, I didn't thought about sport at all, about martial arts or any kind of sport. But I don't know how it happened. It happened very smooth and easy for me, this transition, because when I start grappling, I start winning everything in grappling. And I won the Europe, World, ADCC trials, compete in ADCC Worlds. And 28, they offered me good contract in MMA. But if you want to, I was thinking that I don't like MMA because they are hitting like each other. Grappling is good for me, and I will be always grappling. But they offered me contract. I started MMA, and after 2 years, I signed with the UFC, and it was very fast everything for me. And of course, I'm grateful now for everything because of MMA, UFC. I have like my life, what I have things what I like to do in my life, and UFC helped me to achieve my goals. That's very important for me.
Now that you're fighting at 185, you said you weren't cutting weight at 205. Has it changed your mentality at all in fight week because you do have to cut some weight? Like, did it take a little bit of getting used to? Like, your routine has to change during fight week.
First weight cut was hard because I didn't have experience before how to do it, and I made little bit mistakes, like cut in evening. I was like 185. I was in like 10 hours before my fight, and this was biggest mistake, I think. Now I'm cutting half evening, half in the morning, and it's worked for me. But no, nothing. I just do what I need to do. I'm a professional athlete, and I just, for me, it's a work. I need to be professional. I need to respect my opponent, organization who give me this opportunity, and I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm trying to do it best.
Hey, Roman, what do you like to do as a hobby? What do you like besides training? Not push-ups as a hobby or crunches. What do you like to do? You like to read books? You like to watch some movies? What do you like to do?
Of course, I have a lot of hobbies. I always say that fighting is part of my life. It's not everything, for sure. I like playing chess. I like reading books. I play chess too much, I think, because even now I'm like sometimes spending a lot of time in phone, and that's not a good thing. And hiking is also good here in Vegas. Also, I like to go to Mount Charleston and stuff like that. And also, I have business. I don't have so much time sometimes, but imagine for me having business became like hobby because I like to have something besides fighting, and this make me more complete. It's very important for me.
What business is this?
I have a grocery store.
Get out of here! That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Have you been following the chess cheating scandal with Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann?
Is that what it means?
Yes.
Well, he's suing them for $100 million for saying he cheated. What do you think? Did he cheat to beat Carlsen? What's your opinion?
It's a very strange story. Let's start from this. That's a very funny thing. But I don't know. I just like chess. For me, it's not like I'm very interested and I'm like these old stories. I don't care about it. I like just playing chess.
You just like playing.
Yes, I know these guys, but I just like playing chess. I'm not too much in it. I it's true. I try to be like away from stuff, and I'm focusing now on fights. After fights, I have business, and too much things are happening in my life to focus on things like that.
But Jimmy, he focuses a lot on the bullshit and the anal beads. Jimmy,
I can't help it. I just didn't know you could cheat that way. I would have been making the use of my beads.
For the people that don't know, what do you mean?
It was an allegation that he had used anal beads to cheat, and he's suing for that.
How though? How?
Kind of like in casino, and they're zapping you to tell you what cards. There might have been some kind of a signal sent to make certain move. That was just the allegation.
Wait, you could get anal beads that zap?
Oh, so now all of a sudden you're interested in chess. I see that got you interested, Matt. Yes, I guess you can. I don't have any.
We'll talk more about that later.
Now let me ask you. Yes,
Christmas is coming up.
I find it very. Do you find chess relaxing? I play a lot, like online and on computer. I find it relaxing when I win, but very stressful and annoying when I lose.
I like chess because chess need a lot of attention, and you need to focus on it. If you don't focus on it, it's very hard to win. And that's why I like it. That chess make me like not think about other stuff in my life. And I just forget everything, and I just relax like that. But now, I'm playing a little bit higher levels, and it's harder to play, and I need like more attention, and like I need to learn more, and it's a little bit harder because before I was winning a lot, and now I need to like I try to find an internet now teacher. Just who will teach me, because back home I had teacher who was coming. Now I need to find someone who will teach me in internet.
Oh, have you ever played? Oh, I'm sorry. That's how you learn. You had a teacher teach you chess.
First, when you start, it's not so hard because it's not high level fire players, and it's okay. But when you are on high level, people are like very good there, and of course you need someone who will teach who will teach you and show the right moves and stuff like that. And as high you go, as more you need someone who will teach you.
Yeah. Do you ever play in a tournament? I've never played in a tournament.
No, now I try to play like chess. If I can say chess.com, I like it. And just playing with 10 minutes with opponents, and that's all. Because I think for me, it's now more just to learn. I'm just getting into it because, yes, we think that we are on a certain level when you get like some points, but I think it's nothing special, because when I'm watching what are other players doing, I think that I can do nothing, because these guys are amazing.
Yeah, I've kind of, I'm 54 and I will never be as good as some of these guys were when they were 9. So I kind of realize I'm very limited. I just play, it's fun, but I'll never be a great player.
I don't think so. You just need more work on it. That's all.
Maybe, but I'm also mentally lazy. I forgot to mention that. I'm lazy. How are you feeling about Phil Hawes? I mean, Phil Hawes has looked he's looked very dangerous. You guys both had success over Kyle Dawkins, who was off to a tremendous start. What are you expecting out of Phil?
I think he's good everywhere. You know, he have good wrestling, he have good striking, but I really don't care. If you want, I really don't care. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight anybody. And yes, I know he's a good guy. Like you said, everyone was telling that Kyle Dawkins is like a great fighter and he have better jiu-jitsu than I do, better striking than I do. Look what happened. I think that's the better answer than anything else.
Yes. Needed the dome.
That's all.
All right. Well, look, Roman, good luck. We have, I guess, 2 more guests now. We love watching you fight, and congrats on that last tremendous win. And I hope you have a great fight. I like Phil too, so I'm looking forward to this matchup a lot. You guys are the main fight of the prelims this Saturday. So good luck, man. Have a great fight, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again.
And come to Georgia.
Oh, 100%. I'm coming. The Sarahs are coming to Georgia. Thank you, Roman.
All right, Roman Dolidze. Thank you, man. Good talking to you. And I always like somebody else when I find out they play chess.
Dear Jimmy, I'm scarred. I told you the story.
What?
Forever. At the Sarah gatherings, at the Sarah household growing up.
Sure.
My grandpa Benny would come over. He just recently passed like a year ago. He was like almost to 101, that guy. Wow. Sarah's got legs.
They do. They have longevity.
So him and my father, when they come over, my father, he lived in Hollis, Queens. Would we go to visit them? Or they'd come over to visit us for hours. Hours. My father and my grandfather would play chess. Okay. And then sometimes they'd play the time chess where they'd go and they press the thing, then they press the thing, and then and I would watch them and I'd be like, oh, that's so, one day maybe I could, do that. So one day my father went to teach me. I was very young.
Yes.
I remember this like it was yesterday. And anytime I'd make a move, he would do another one. It would be like bink, and he'd be like bink, bink, boom, take my pawn, boom, boom, take my knight, and just destroyed me. And almost like laugh, almost be like, wait, you go there, boom. And just Jimmy, it's not the way to teach a kid. Mm-mm. He totally destroyed me.
Yeah. And
never taught me. And that's it. Mr. Sarah, big boo on you for that. You fucked up with that. Hey, Ralphie, no good. No, I'm talking to my father now. No, this is me. I have to let some stuff out. Can I let some stuff out?
Sure. I think we're going to bring Criss Angel in as he's coming in. Let it out.
I want to make these emotions disappear. I want a magician just to make this disappear from my...
I could make them disappear with a good hug. A good hug. That's my magic. Yeah, bring Criss in, Luke, if he's here.
He should have taught me the right way. But he didn't. He was a bit of a bully, and I never played chess again.
Some people are not great teachers.
He made me feel like a moron.
Well, it happens.
I know this gentleman.
Criss Angel. Hey, Criss.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Oh, there you are. Hey, Criss.
How are you, Criss? Now, Jimmy, have you met Criss Angel before?
It's been years, yes, but I have.
We're like alumni.
East Meadow, man.
East Meadow in the house. Come on, man. I think it's me and you, and I think we're the only guys who made it. I don't know. I mean, come on, man. East Meadow. So also on Dana White looking for a fight, Jimmy, I told you.
Yep.
We visited Criss Angel in his Las Vegas thing over there, and it was something else. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Just excited with my new TV series, Magic with the Stars, and just living each day and performing at Planet Hollywood with Mind Freak for like, I don't know, since 2008, and just been crazy.
How many shows a week do you do?
Now I'm doing 5. I was doing 10, but 5, 6 shows a week. It's a lot. And then I tour and play Broadway and do all sorts of stupid things.
Do you find like there was a good show, Penn and Teller had an interesting show called I think Fool Us or something, where guys would show tricks. Do you have guys, like as a comic, I have people telling me jokes and I fucking hate it. Do you have people trying to talk to you about tricks they've seen, or what is the annoying thing for a magician to have to deal with?
Well, it used to be, hey, can you do a trick for me? Can you do a trick for me? But that kind of stopped because now just people would like to get a picture or just talk about something that they've seen in my show or something. But no, listen, there's good and bad that comes with everything. I'm very blessed, very thankful to have the gig that I have. I've been playing in Vegas, have the #1 best-selling show, not even magic show. Believe it or not, we beat Cirque du Soleil every night.
Wow.
So it's really incredible. And it's just a lot of work. And now with the television series, it's like doing the television series because my production studio produced it. So I'm editing, and then I'm going to do a show. Then I come back and do notes. And it's just, it's a lot of work, but very, very rewarding. And it's like, I'm just thankful, man,
What is the trick? There has to be one that when you were probably younger or whatever, that has blown you away the most that you've seen somebody do, even to this day, that you still go, that is the one that I haven't done that I wish I could have done.
The pick a card.
What's that, Matt?
I was going to say the one where you pick a card. And
probably not that.
I'm sorry. I seen that one before.
No, I was going to say, I've done almost 2,000 demonstrations on television and in my live show. I think my best, the one that won the greatest illusion of all time by the largest magic publication, Vanish, was a thing that I did, this levitation, where I levitate and fly in really bright light. And it's just this crazy way that I end my show. And then on Magic with the Stars, I had Miles Brown from the show Blackish, and then Corbin Bleu from High School Musical do a version of that. And so that gets a huge response. But I'm an old dude now, man. I like to just to do my show and create and train a little bit and just do stuff like that.
Now I gotta ask now, because we grew up in the same neighborhood in East Meadow. Now, if I'll tell you, if a kid, I'm not dashing anybody's dreams, and obviously you made it. But I mean, you ever come home? What was it like when you came home and you told your parents, "I want to be a magician"? Did you get smacked? Did you say, "Look, I'm only kidding"? Did you say, "Come on, man, really a magician"?
That's probably the same response when you went home and told them that you wanted to be a fighter, right? It's not the typical norm. You didn't go to college. I didn't go to college. I was on the short bus in school. I wasn't a bright kid. I wasn't able to retain information, but I had this passion since I was, 10, 11 years old. I used to perform. I don't know if you remember, on Hempstead Turnpike, there was a place called the Wine Gallery. I don't know if you remember, across the street from the medical center. I used to perform there when I was 14 at a bar doing magic for couples that would come in and want to hang out, and I would interrupt them and do make something disappear or something.
Did they like it? Did you ever interrupt at a bad moment?
Oh, listen, I've had the craziest shit happen to me. And you know this, man, you get hecklers but you're a master at dealing with that stuff. I'm a dude that does a little bit of improv, but on stage, and I get people that are drunk that start fights, and I have to go grab them because security's not doing shit,
right?
Pulling them out. I've had the crazies. I have women come up on stage. They don't even realize because they're wearing this sexy little top and they're not taped in, and both their breasts are exposed on stage. They don't even know it. I had the craziest, the fire alarm go off, and for 30 minutes we have to go out in the parking lot. Just nutty things that have happened over the years, thousands of shows.
Now, they say a magician never gives away his secrets, right? How did you learn this? How did you learn? It's not like you back then, it was even the internet where you could, well, maybe there was, but not really.
Up on Newbridge Road, you're familiar with New Bridge Road, there's
I lived right off of it.
A building called the library there. And I used to go in there all the time across the street from Home Depot and the supermarket. And I would go there all the time and I would borrow books that I still haven't given back. But, and I would read books about it. And then, because we didn't have the internet and we had to go to like the card catalog and you had to really want to learn something in order to go through the process to learn it. And then I go to the magic shop in Hicksville, or I'll meet somebody and I would pick their brain. And then I started like trying to create my own stuff. And that's really, it's kind of like MMA, man. You go out there, you try to learn from somebody that you respect. You try to learn from different people that have certain certain techniques that others don't have, and then you try to put them in your toolbox, and then you practice and you evolve and you transform. You get 2 steps forward and you take a step back, with a loss or something like that. But it's just trial and error. It's getting out there, listening to the audience, and really being honest with yourself, because anything is possible. And I think that's what's great about Magic with the Stars, is it shows people that, people that have fears, like Genuine, this guy, that R&B artist, great guy, sold over 10 million albums, had the fear of water. He couldn't hold his breath for 15 seconds. We overcame that. He blacked out. It was very scary. But lots of people have a fear of heights and different things. So on this show, we kind of confront these different fears and we have them, overcome it. So people watching it not only see the most mind-blowing illusions and have Eddie Griffin hosting and Lonnie Love, an Emmy Award comedian, as a judge, and Master Magician Lance Burton, but they're seeing not only these mind-blowing illusions, but they're able to connect and apply it to their own life. Like, hey, you know what? This seems impossible, but I can overcome this. And I think that's the message of hope we need now more than ever in our world.
What is that place in LA called? Is it the Magic Castle? Is that what it is?
Magic Castle.
I've heard of it. It's like one of those invite-only places. What is it? Just a place they do magic and magic shows every night?
Kind of like a bar, restaurant, and you kind of you have to be like a member there or know a member there, and you go in there and you go like to the parlor room and watch magic, or you go to the close-up room and watch magic. And it's kind of like this Magic Castle. It's been around forever. And there's some really, really talented guys that perform in there. And I've actually shot a couple episodes of my shows years ago there and stuff. It's cool. I haven't been there in many, many years, but yeah, it's kind of like the comedy club for magic.
Right. Yeah, they say that's a really exclusive one. Do you go? Because I don't watch other comedians. I don't want to be influenced by what I see. I just don't want to pick it up. Do you watch other guys, other magicians? Will you see what this one is doing or that one is doing?
Well, like for me, I love watching shows. I love watching concerts. I love to see production value. I love to see imagination come to life. And that sense of escape is fun for me. And as a creator, which is really what I love doing, performing every night's my job. Creating is what I love. I love seeing things that can inspire me, or, I try to create my own form of what I do. Like in my show, it's very immersive. So like you have a tornado in my show that blows shit everywhere, a blizzard where you won't even be able to see your hands. I'm flying around, levitating, hanging over the audience. It's a very physical show. Right. As a matter of fact, good friends of mine, Randy Couture, Frank Mir, come to my show frequently. And they were actually on an episode of Magic with the Stars where they bring a video game fight, kind of like Mortal Kombat. They bring it to life with this crazy twist illusion. So, I try to, like, I would have never got that unless I was exposed to things. And then I think about how can I incorporate that into what I do. I don't necessarily go watch, like people like Copperfield hate me. Penn used to be a friend, but he doesn't really like me anymore. And so like, it's all good, but
why is that, Chris? Why is that?
People don't like you. Why doesn't people like you?
Well, I think it's, can you name 10 magicians? Can you name 5 magicians? Probably a tough time to do that. Yeah. And when you're at the top of your game and you're beating everybody in sales by almost 2-3 times the amount, there comes this, this bitter taste in people's mouths instead of being happy for somebody. And trust me, my life has been, my son went through pediatric cancer for more than 6 years. I've been through real problems. It's not a real problem. It's, we're all blessed. We all get to do what we do. We all have different audiences. But unfortunately, when you're the guy that has the target on his back, it's like being the champion, right?
Yeah.
You get people talking shit, you get people on other shows talking shit. And for me, you know, I'm a real competitive person. And I think that's why I love MMA so much. And you know, I just like that chess game, you know, and you know, you just get people that are not in that same spirit. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. I love them. God bless them. The world's a big place, and I only wish them the best.
How is your son? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's good.
Oh,
he
good.
He Mission Bell this past February, went through more than 6 years of this crazy disease. And we raised millions of dollars for our community, for Cure for the Kids and Make-A-Wish of Southern Nevada. 100% of every cent we raise goes to the cause. And, you know, I raise money every show. And I'd love to have you both at the show. I think you'll enjoy it. And it'll be
I would love to. That's nice, man. I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And with your show coming out, with the TV show, what the celebrities, they're doing the magic?
Yes, they're doing my shit. Like they're learning, I'm teaching them how to levitate, how to fly, like the stuff that I do in my show. They're doing shit that the biggest headliners in magic, not only in Vegas, but the world, are not capable of doing. And by the way, Matt, you look a little like Dana. You know that. You've heard that before?
Some people do say that.
I thought you were Dana when I first saw. I was like, Dana, what's up? Last time I saw Dana, I was at a fight and then I was at his house.
Yeah. But I'm like up to his chest. I'm like a little stocky version, you know. But yeah, that's funny. People sometimes when I'm away with Dana, like we do that show, and people know we're in town, they'll see me, they'll take a picture, I get all happy, and they're like, "Oh, thank you, I love your organization." I go,
That's great. You know, I can have you on Magic with the Stars. I can make one of you disappear and the other one appear, and people will think it's the same person.
Wow, he's back, but it's his mini me. Yeah. That's fucking great. Well, I'm looking forward. When does this show appear?
Every Saturday night on the CW, 8/7 Central. It's on this Saturday. We have Max from Dancing with the Stars. He's done like 18 or 20 seasons. He's a coach there. Fabulous guy. And a guy named Omarion, an R&B singer. He just wrote a book, and really, really good guy. We have Randy Couture, Frank Mir going head to head, which is an awesome episode. They beat the hell out of, like, in this video game of these guys that play these characters. It's just great. And then you see Frank Mir slaps me up in the face. He produces a rat, which freaks out Lonnie Love. She falls off her seat, falls on me. We both fall on the ground. It's just a crazy, fun family show.
Nice. How is Frank Mir's slap? Even after that seems like a really unpleasant thing to receive.
Well, listen, I had Houdini used to do this thing where he would say that he could take any man's punch to the stomach, right? It's actually what killed him, because 3 college kids came to him after a show, and they're like, "Mr. Houdini, is it true that you could take any man's punch?" And he's like, "Yeah." They didn't give him a moment to set up, and they just wowed his stomach. Well, he eventually ruptured his appendix, and he died in 1926 on Halloween. That's the real way he died, not the Tony Curtis movie that he drowned, all that nonsense. That's the real way that he died. And so I wanted to try to reenact that. I wanted to try to do it. Now, today, our fighters are much more, I mean, scientifically, physically are superior specimens.
Sure.
You know, with what they're capable of doing, the punching strength and technique and all of that stuff. And so I had Randy Couture, Frank Mir, Chuck Liddell, and Paige Van Zandt. This was years ago, punch me in the stomach. And Frank went easy on me the first. I was like, "Frank, you really got to punch me. Like, you really got to give me a good shot," and he did. And, I had knuckles marks in my stomach for literally hours before they faded away. I absolutely felt it, even with the technique that I employed to do it. But Frank's good. We're actually, I trained a little bit with Randy's son, Ryan, and now Frank is going to be training me. I have a little gym in my house here. And so I love doing jiu-jitsu, and I've been playing around martial arts since I was a kid. I love that stuff.
All right. Well, Criss, look, it's real. I'm happy for you, man. You're doing so well. And let's one more time give the plug here. It's it's called Magic with the Stars, Criss Angel Magic with the Stars on the CW Saturdays, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central. And it does just premiere October the 22nd. Or if you're in Vegas, go see a great live show at the Criss Angel Theater, Planet Hollywood, Mind Freak Live, which I will absolutely take you up on.
Just call me. I'll give you my number, and you guys can reach out to me. Dana has my number, but you're welcome to come anytime you want. You'll have fun. It's a lot of little like comedy stuff in there too, but check it out this Saturday, 8/7 Central on the CW. And I want to thank both of you for having me on. It's such a pleasure and honor to see you. Anytime, Chris. We'll see you again, okay? Chris. God bless you guys. All right, take care, buddy. Be good. Thank you. Chase Hooper is in the waiting room, our third guest. This is why we hate three guests. We love it, but we just, you like both guys so far, so interesting. Roman Dolidze and Chris, and then we have Chase Hooper, who we also like. So
I'll do that magic trick with you.
I would like to go. I don't want to be punched in the stomach.
I'll let you punch me, Jimmy.
No, I wouldn't be able to punch you. I punch pretty hard. Am I gonna break my hand? That's where you're gonna punch. I wouldn't. I would tickle your belly button. All right, here he is. Hey, Chase.
Yes, Chase. Chase, man, where you been, bro? I feel like we haven't seen you in a minute, like the kids say.
Yeah, just been in the gym, working hard, trying to, get ready to beat up another dude, or try to not get beat up myself.
Let me tell you, Chase, over watching you fight, I love it. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I don't give a fuck if you ever throw a punch in your life again. I just want to see your jiu-jitsu. No, listen. People will say, oh, Chase has the jiu-jitsu, but he might need X, Y. Nah, fuck it. No, you're like the Damian Maia of your division. No matter where it lands, I don't feel comfortable with the other guy. I feel like Chase is gonna get him. Go ahead, Chase.
Yeah. That's been the thought, really, is like Damian Maia is a perfect example of that. Is like it's not even necessarily like, oh, I need to go in and strike with these guys. It's like it just has to be good enough to like, maybe make them uncomfortable, or like to get it to where I want the fight to be anyways. That's been a thing. I feel like I'm in kind of like a team captain role with like a lot of the guys at the gym right now. So I've been trying to like hammer that into them for their training. So now I'm trying to do it myself of like, don't get obsessed with like trying to win fights a certain way. Like just stick with the style that, stick with, what's gotten you to the dance anyways. And like, if you're a grappler, if you're a wrestler and you wrestled all through high school, you don't need to be like doing Muay Thai. Like you need to just enough to get to the wrestling and like just focus on what you're good at and, trying to apply that myself.
Did fighting, your first loss came to Alex Caceres, who's a veteran and he's been around, he's fought a lot. And because you're such a young guy, when you have a fight like that, and it's a decision, you obviously, he was just a very experienced fighter. Does that teach you anything? Like, do you learn something from that? Like, wow, this is what I have to do to beat a guy who's so dangerous on his feet and moves so well.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, and Caceres is a great guy. I've seen him around. I was on a grappling card with him back in January, talked to him for a couple hours. Great guy. That's kind of one of the things I love about the sport is everybody's like super cool for the most part, outside of the fight. Like everybody's just here to make money and put their honor on the line. But having a fight against a veteran, and I said it after the fight, is that like he had more UFC fights than I had years of being alive. Like he had like 22 fights and I was, 2021. Right. So it's definitely a huge change. And I'm starting to understand that of like, getting to the UFC itself is just a process. And it's like adjusting to that level. That was my second UFC fight and going into fight week this time, I feel so much different than I did then. Like, it's not like a novelty, I guess, or like, it's not, as big of a deal, which is kind of interesting. Like it feels a little more like I belong here instead of like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, yeah, where you're in your first couple fights, you don't know if you belong. So now, and obviously having never lost, and then losing against a guy like Caceres, it shows you where the level's at and obviously where I needed to make the improvements. And, I feel like I'm twice the fighter I was, with fight IQ, better striking, better defense, better wrestling. I'm a lot better of a fighter than I was in that second fight there for sure.
Yeah, because it just seems like the more you fight, the higher you go. Everybody is just pretty good at everything. Like, it's hard to find weak spots on guys. Like, even, you look at a guy like Usman, who's a great wrestler. He's a great striker too. Like, it's hard to find somebody who is only good at one thing on that level.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of been, it's made training a little more interesting, like being able to focus on the striking, like, and trying to not necessarily get it to the level of my jiu-jitsu, but, like focusing on the technique a little more and like tweaks and adjustments. And I feel like I understand the striking a lot better than like just throw punches and see what happens. So, yeah, it's been good. It's been fun.
When did you start your martial arts training? How old were you? And where did you grow up also?
I think I was 8 years old. Started training the same gym I'm at today in Enumclaw with the same coach. He's off getting a coffee right now, but
and where,
yeah, he brought me.
Enumclaw?
Yeah, if you ever heard of the Mr. Hands thing, it was actually in my hometown.
Oh God, yeah, Mr. Hands, my favorite. Boy, did he not do his job.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
He had a bit of a slip up.
It's just a video about a horse dancing with a guy, and let's just say the horse takes a misstep, and the guy winds up with a perforated colon.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Oh no.
He was a Boeing engineer named Kenneth Pinion. Yeah.
Shout out.
Oh
yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So wait, where is that exactly?
Shout out.
Washington State. We're like an hour and a half outside of Seattle, more towards the mountains.
So you started with jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, my coach, he started with like Half Gracie and those guys. Okay. He moved up here, and yeah, I got super lucky. Like the gym was just the road down from my house. Before I moved a couple months ago, I literally had some times where my car wouldn't start. So I'd just be like, shit, I guess I'll just run to the gym. It takes me 5 minutes. So, it's nice having like that high level training. I was able to watch my coach's UFC career while I was a little kid training with him. So, it's cool to be able to, make that come full circle and be able to bring him on my fights.
Now, it says here, we're reading that you've been married 1 year and your wife's a blue belt.
Yeah.
Now you're 23, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel old in a lot of ways. So pretty mellow.
You seem like an old soul. That's good though, man. I mean, you've been married a year, so you just were able to be out and you could be a young kid out partying, but you seem very level-headed. Like you're married already. And
yeah, I mean, I feel like I do enough, wild shit in my day-to-day anyways, like, doing what I do for a living, like that's wild enough for me. I don't need to, go out and party. Just fighting in a cage is all the thrills I need right now.
Oh, heck yeah. I'll tell you that, Jimmy, it's very for a young kid.
Very, yeah. It's but I guess if you're getting your aggression out in the gym, it's not like a lot of guys go out and do sexual stuff just because they have all this pent up energy and this crazy, but I mean, it's kind of hard to, I'm sure, top the high of strangling people. Like you're getting that dopamine rush probably from the gym.
Oh yeah, for sure. It wears all that testosterone out. It helps with the ego too when you get beat up, that type of thing. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's nice to have some stability in one area of life when this sport is just so cutthroat and like you never, I don't know, it's so hard to plan around this sport because you never know what's going to happen between fights. So it's nice to have stability on like the other side of it, so I can at least have that.
Well, I'm reading here that you're a big fan of the M&Ms as a candy. Why am I reading that? What are you that huge a fan of M&Ms?
Yeah.
What am I reading?
After my debut, they the PR team for UFC, they made some M&Ms with my face on them and sent them out to people. You guys must not have got them.
I did not.
I want
to hit them up about that. But
now, is it the peanut butter ones? Which ones do you like the best? And why M&Ms?
I don't know. I don't know why M&Ms. They're just perfect size.
Here's the hard question.
You can just eat them a handful at a time, and they're like, all right, the bag's gone. Go get another. The pretzel ones are really solid.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Those are my top two for sure.
Yes, they rule. Now, are you good at stopping? Like, could you eat a little and stop, or do you just until the bag is gone?
No, I've been telling people like some of my best training sessions have been off of like a 1 pound bag of M&Ms.
Oh
my God.
So like after fights and stuff, or like after weigh-ins, it's perfect. We're actually right across the street from M&M World. I'm gonna swing through there for sure, and just gorge myself a little bit.
They are good. I feel if I have a little bit too many, they start off so good. If I have like one too many, I'm like that. You know, I'm a Butterfinger guy. I like the butter. Jimmy, what's your favorite? Well, you know about me and Chase. What do you like, Jimmy?
If anybody's really asking, I would say I like a Twix or a Kit Kat, if it matters.
You like the crunch. You like the crunch, Jimmy.
Now, were you training with Wonderboy? What was how long were you there for, and what were you doing?
Yeah, after my Peter Barrett fight, where I got the heel hook in the third,
nice.
We kind of sat down and we're like, all right, got to get some more striking training in. And it was still pretty tight as far as like the COVID stuff goes. So it was either Thailand or, somewhere a little closer ended up being better instead of having to quarantine and all that. So, saved my money, went to South Carolina. I just DM'd him. I was like, hey, could I come out and train? And it's great training out there. Really like technical striking, because Wonderboy's dad still runs the show.
Yeah,
he's just
Thompson.
such a specialist in striking, and they have great wrestling out there, great sparring. And they still have like a small gym feel. Like everybody's still pretty tight knit, and it's not like these huge super gyms where everybody has like cliques. It's it's a great time out there, and I've been going out there, a couple times a year, just out for a week, train, and just keep the striking up, get different sparring looks, and it's been super solid.
What I love about that is why as far as you working with Wonderboy, is the same reason I like when Ryan Hall worked with Wonderboy, is you get to use your length. You get to use those side kicks. What is Wonderboy really great at? Everybody's been like, oh, this kick, that kick. How about he's great at not taking damage? I know, he's been called like Pettis. Maybe you got that one time, but hey, man, as far as not taking damage, he's the guy. And he's doing it, playing the striking game with some of the best strikers. And I love his sidekick. Oh, my goodness. And it's great for grapplers like yourself, because you stay at length. They get past that. Now you're in your realm. So it keeps become really dangerous and safe at the same time with the striking.
Definitely. That distance management is one of the things he's best at. That's what I've been trying to work on for sure.
He's frightening to watch fight too, because I like him so much. And when you're watching somebody you like fight, and he's always kind of backing up towards the fence, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, he's so good at just at the last second getting out. But yeah, I can't think of anybody that makes me more nervous when they fight than him, because he seems very comfortable, and then he just kind of goes off to the side. It's incredible.
You could be a nervous little fella, though.
I am, yeah. But I like it. I hate watching guys I like fight. I would prefer not to have ever known any of them, because it's just easier to watch the fight and not give a shit.
Yeah, it's fair.
What are you expecting on Saturday night? Hold on, let me just pull this up here. I should probably know this offhand, but I don't. Steve Garcia, of course. Yeah, what are you expecting out of Steve?
Yeah, he's a vet. He's been around a while. He's had some fights. Everybody in UFC, deserves to be here. But I think I personally feel very similar to the last fight that I had against Collares, where I think that he's very grappling oriented, but I feel that, if somebody's putting me in trouble with the grappling, like, that's a huge issue. And I don't think that's going to happen until, the higher levels of their ranks. So I feel really confident in that. My wrestling's been great. My striking's been great. He'll throw some wild shots, but just as long as I keep my defense up and, keep pushing that cardio, I feel like I'll find a way to win, whether it's, first round, second or third. I feel really confident, honestly, in the fact that I can find a way to win and negate the things that he's good at. And I always know that I've got the cardio and I've got the heart to go with anybody. So just making my way to Saturday night with that in mind.
What an incredible main event too. Kattar against Arnold Allen is coming off that amazing win over Dan Hooker. The top of that division is really, really stacked. The entire division. I mean, Alex Caceres is 15th. And that's how good that division is, that a guy like him is 15th. So you have to be aware there's a lot of really, really potentially great fights for you if you have a good night Saturday night.
Definitely. That's been kind of one of the things is like, I've been doing a lot of sports psychology stuff, and it's like, don't think that you're super different from like the people at the top of the sport. Even if you're not on their level yet, like you don't need to think that. Just be like, oh, like, thinking about the matchups, that type of thing. Obviously I'm not trying to fight Volk yet, but, just keeping your eyes up a little bit. But again, obviously just focus on Saturday night, getting that win. And then, the bigger fights will come from there.
Volkanovski is going to be fighting, oh, Jesus Christ. He'll be fighting Islam Makhachev, which I think is a very tough fight for Volkanovski. But then again, I thought that about Brian Ortega too. And it's got to, as striker, or when you grapplers, when you see a guy get strangled the way he got strangled in the third against Brian and survive it, that's got to make you think as a grappler, like, Jesus Christ, this guy, there's really no formula to putting this guy away.
Yeah. I mean, he just has to have, again, like, he doesn't need to grapple. He just needs to have good enough grappling to cancel out, a better grappler. Like, it's not that hard to do, especially MMA. Once you get sweaty and all that too, it makes it harder on the grappling end of things. And Volk's got a crazy long reach for being as stocky as he looks. I think he still has like a 72-inch reach. So he's a lot rangier, and I think that definitely messes with people.
And I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of Islam, but he's throwing out those short jokes left and right. It's starting to make me, I don't give a shit. But I'll tell you, he's going to be trying to hold on to him like a little nugget, because Olaski's got those little limbs. So it's hard to hold the shorter guys down. I only fought one guy shorter than me my whole life, Ivan Medjevar. And in half guard, he was able to jump to all fours. I go, what the fuck? So those shorter guys, Chase, the shorter guys are good at getting to their feet. Like, you know what I mean? The little legs.
Yeah, and it's hard to choke out the guys that don't have any necks.
I know, exactly. But if anybody could do it, it's Islam. Islam is. I've always said I'm not gonna pick against Volkanovski, because he's wrong, man. But this fight is just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's such a fun matchup for that. Like, two crazy high level guys on two completely different ends of the spectrum. I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Chase, good luck on Saturday, man. You're a really, really great young fighter, and everybody has nothing but positive things to say about you against Steve Garcia on the prelims. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you for years to come, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Jiu-jitsu, baby.
All right. Thanks, Chase. Have a great fight.
Thank you.
That was such a funny thing, too, to reference Mr. Hands. Look up Mr. Hands, Matt. You'll enjoy it. It's funny.
I don't want to look at it.
Oh, it's not bad. It's just silly.
It's disgusting.
No.
It's about the horse that entered the guy. Like, it was about.
No.
You should be called Mr. Hand.
I know. I'd rather be the horse, but Mr. Hands was Mr. Hands was just the guy who didn't hold on properly. He really dropped the ball, fumbled. Let's pick a couple of fights.
Let's do it, Jimmy.
We'll do the main and co-main. What do you think? Let's do the co-main. Tim Means against Max Griffin. Both coming off a loss. Split decision loss. Max dropped one to Neil Magny. And, of course, Tim was submitted by Kevin Holland.
It's going to be a good fight, man. I'm going to take Max, because I think Max has been just a little bit more in form lately. I don't know. I think and I like Tim Means a lot.
Sure.
And Tim Means business. You know that.
I'll take Max by a stoppage in the second.
Yeah, I'll take Max. I'll take Max by decision. I think Tim's not going nowhere.
Kattar Arnold Allen. I mean, that's a fucking 18-1. He's undefeated in the UFC. Arnold Allen.
Wow. A bird likes you needs a savage like me. Sorry, that's a Lizzo song.
Is this his first main, Matt? I think it's his first main. Because I know he's been winning Sadiq Youssef and Nick Lentz and Gilbert Melendez, all decisions. Oh yeah, they were all 3-round decisions. So, you wonder how will 5 rounds, especially against a guy like fucking Kattar who doesn't stop. Calvin Kattar does not stop. How will that affect Arnold Allen, who has been fighting 3-round fights?
Now, man, he's been looking. He's undefeated in the UFC. Arnold Allen.
Yeah, he's 9-0. Yes.
This is where I feel the fight IQ of Calvin Kattar could come through, because Calvin had a couple of upsets there. With the Josh Emmett one was close. It was a split decision.
Yeah.
So besides that, the only hiccup he had in recent
Max.
Max Holloway, who's one of the greatest.
And that fight was incredible. He proved he could. You have to hit him with a sledgehammer, Kattar. The amount of punishment he took in that fight and was still up, it was incredible. Calvin
Kattar by decision. I barely like you, like me. What do you think, Jimmy?
I'm going to say the same thing. I was going to say Arnold Allen, but again, those last 2 rounds and knowing what a machine Kattar is, it's hard to pick against Calvin Kattar. I'll take Calvin by decision, and I love Arnold Allen. He's great, but I just think this. I know. Our Jake is telling us that he did knock out, but I was just saying that the last 3 before this that actually went the decision didn't go into a 4th and 5th round. He did knock out Dan Hooker, but that's not necessarily going to say anything about his cardio. When you look at the fact that he won 3 with Sadiq and Nick Lenz and Gilbert Melendez, what are those last 2 championship rounds going to do? We already know Calvin Kattar can continue to slug for 5 rounds. So I agree, man. I'll take Calvin by decision.
It's going to be wild. Is it at regular time?
I'll tell you in a second. It is. It's on ESPN Plus. First of all, it is. Main card 7 p.m. prelims 4 p.m. Eastern time. I don't care about the rest of the country. Okay. So 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. this Saturday. What a great couple of cards. Thank you to our guests.
Yes.
Very, very fun show.
Yeah, Jimmy, I had a blast, Jimmy, and I will definitely be FaceTiming you this weekend.
Please do.
Please pick up.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.